Yeah, I think there's been multiple school shootings the last couple days as well. I think there was one in Colorado yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I saw people using that as a way to make fun of
There's one today.
There's another one today, and there's two today, I believe. I think there was
two today. My bad. You know, I've been pro-gun always, right? Like always. Stuff makes me wonder if I'm right. Right? Like
you are. Yeah, the regulation wouldn't keep these evil people from getting guns. There's more guns than people here. It would
way more.
It would just take it away from people like me and you.
I know
and
this
Kyle
argument. I've made this argument, but like, just from a right and wrong standpoint, let's remove like how hard it would be to remove guns, all that stuff. I generally am really resistant to laws that impact innocent, good-meaning people, right? You know, like, but like, how many school shootings a day does it take before we should do anything?
Well, in this case in particular, that old Mauser that he's got, I don't think there's a U.S. state where you can't buy that rifle. You know, like I think the strictest gun regulations in Canada wouldn't stop someone from getting that rifle. You know, it's an old bolt-action hunting rifle. The genie's out of the bottle on that one. Philosophically, we could make have the discussion of like, should weapons be available to a hypothetical society in such great numbers? You'd probably say no, but it's too late for that. There's 1.5 guns per person, I think, in the U.S. I think that's the number.
I bet it's more than that.
There's 340 million of us or something like that. I know guys with dozens and dozens of guns, you know, like when you're in the South, everyone here has a gun. There's guns everywhere.
I have a couple dozen.
You have a couple dozen. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I'm not on your guys' level, but yeah, I
mean, they're not all that cool,
but some of them are pretty cool.
You know? I like.
You got some neat guns. I like your 50 cal a lot. I think it's I like unique guns. It doesn't matter to me that it's the best at what it does or like the meta. To put it into video game terms, you've got some off meta guns, and I like that. Like the F2000, that's an off meta gun.
I like that one. The F2000 and the Henry lever action 22. It's brass. It looks shiny, like something like a Cowboy Star would have.
Yeah.
Like,
I like them. They're off meta, and both of those, as an example, like I'm an average shooter, but with those two particular guns, I might be above average, and I like them.
Sometimes the gun just fits you just right. I've shot guns before and been like, oh, I'm like 30% better with your gun. Like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Woody, but you're not leaving us on the pro gun side, right?
I'm just asking questions.
I see your point.
Don't restrict my free speech.
It's hard to be more pro gun than me, but still, you know, I don't like seeing these school shootings, and I wish there was a solution.
No one does, other than
well, I think some people do. I think some people are maybe they don't like it, but they are so entrenched and pro gun, which that they're like, I don't care how. They're almost like Peacemaker from the TV show. I don't care how many. I want peace, and I don't care how many men, women, or children I have to kill to get it. And some people are like, I want gun rights. I don't care how many men, women, or children have to die for me to get it. And I'm not on that platform, you know. But I think that I would be for what they often say, common sense gun laws and gun reform. What do you mean? Let's break it down. I'd love to have an intellectual conversation about that and not a talking point conversation about that where on a stage, like, okay, what do you mean specifically? Exactly. What do you mean? Are you talking about going house to house with SWAT teams, digging and metal detectors? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, no? Well, then you're toothless.
Are you saying that if I ever wanted to see a therapist for depression, that by engaging in that, you need to remove all the guns from my house?
Right? I was told not to go to a therapist at one point because it might affect my gun rights. I was feeling bad about some stuff. I was feeling depressed, and I was told, hey, don't do that. That could look bad.
What hardships have you ever had?
I was literally told by like gun guys, like, hey, I wouldn't seek help. You might be punished.
Right? Yeah, that really bugs. Like, so I understand how someone might come up with the idea of protecting that person who might need a little help right now, but I also see that the unintended consequences would be people not getting the help they need because they don't want to lose their rights. And so anyway, every common sense gun law I hear has something wrong with it too. It's not an easy thing to come up with.
My dad got a divorce back in the day, and he went back into the home that he had bought, that his wife now lived in, to get his clothing, to get the clothes so that he could go to work. And she called the police and put a case on him, and he couldn't buy guns for a couple of years. I had to buy them for him, allegedly.
Man, you're just hitting for a fucking grand slam.
Statute of limitations. Shut up, Taylor.
Yeah, I lived on that boat for 6 months. Fuck you.
I did live on that boat for 6 months. I did not owe those state income taxes. Leave me alone. What do you work for the IRS now? What's your problem?
Living on the high seas. That's why when you were saying that earlier, I'm like, we should remove that.
It was 100% on the up and up. I was on that boat. Yeah, I received mail at that address. There was at the place where I kept my boat. I received mail there.
Right, but it is far too legally and culturally ingrained in the fabric of America for there to be an effective common sense gun resolution. I mean, it's what has to happen is it needs to be educated out of the Terminator options of what happens when you get mad is that you start shooting. And that is, I think, the clearest point of failure in America, or in the American mindset right now, is the notion that gun violence is among the many ways that you may react when you have your feelings hurt.
Yeah. There's a lot of that where it's like, and there's a lot of rhetoric that has led to that over the past decade in particular.
What do you think about parents being legally responsible if they don't have their guns locked away and their kids get them and do harm? Because I'm for that. Yeah,
100%. I'm in favor of that.
North Carolina.
Now, I didn't grow up in that scenario. I tell you, I grew up with full, unfettered access to my dad's arsenal.
Yeah. Guns are for adults. Like
I knew the combination to the vault or the safe, the safes from I don't know the age of 8 or something. I still know it. It's one of those like phone numbers from when you were a kid. And like I would go and get the guns out when I was home, if I was home alone or their parents there. Like there was no supervision because I don't know, I was schooled in how to use those things and how to respect those things, and I wasn't going to do anything awful. I was going to go in the woods and shoot my 22.
Yeah,
probably a pretty hard stop at 18, right? If the kid's over 18, it's no longer the parents.
Well, I think that's fair. Yeah,
I don't know about
but
that.
If they're in the household and they take a gun that should have been in a safe, that it's not registered to that person, then I think that, in a world where people are staying in the home until they're 23, 4, 5, insurance is still valid, things like that. And we're building a world in which minority, exceeds 18 pretty often. Because I think you're right. Like if the kid goes and steals a gun and shoots up a school, it's harder to hold the parents accountable than if a gun that is registered to them that was not secured is taken and goes into wherever it's used.
I think
I'm a little mixed on the gap.
If you left your truck unlocked,
stealing it and taking it, like,
I mean, from another person, right? If he's used a gun that you've never seen before, I mean, that's a terrible outcome. But it's hard to say a parent was aiding and abetting a teenager that steals a gun that is not from the household.
Yeah.
But if they remove one from the household, then 100% we need to have some meaningful parental accountability for that.
Because I'm thinking about where this starts and stops, right? Like, so in this scenario, a 19-year-old who still lives at home gets the parent's gun and does bad things, we still blame the parents. What if someone who isn't even from the home comes to my home, steals the gun because it wasn't properly locked up enough,
you're liable.
Or maybe my safe kind of sucks. They take it from the safe, they do bad things with it. Now I'm bad still.
Yes.
Like at what point? Like, so just owning a gun, if I can get into Kyle's vault somehow, right? With
not somehow, like it would need
with
to be
an angle grinder,
that would be
okay.
It. So there would be a minimum level of security that you would have to provide to your weapons so that you're not legally liable if they are taken and then evil is done with them. And I think that if you've got them, for example, in your truck that's unlocked in your front yard, which is how our guns were always kept growing up, you'd be legally liable if somebody.
And if I broke the glass on your truck,
the doors were unlocked. You didn't.
I don't think that's on you necessarily. I think that would be for and me personally, I don't think that's on you. I think if the truck's unlocked, though, if you literally have guns outside just sitting there and open a door and there's your
what
gun.
if my safe was made of glass? Now I'm not really securing it too well.
Your front door was locked. They'd have to break into your home and commit burglary at that point. I think that's, once again, not on you. But with children, you have to rise to a higher standard because they're children, and you have to have them literally locked away, and glass doesn't cut it. I think that if you're keeping guns in a glass-paned viewing case in your home with kids,
it better be high up.
But it's tricky now because apparently a locked truck cuts it. A locked truck cuts it, but a glass display cabinet doesn't, when they're really both glass display cabinets.
I think breaking and entering in the vehicle and breaking into their house is both like a form of burglary, and they're committing like a crime and going above and beyond. With a child, for example, if you kept them in your car, I don't think that's good enough. Like if you just had your shotgun in your truck and locked it, your kid has the keys. You know, they can get into the truck. They know how. Yeah. I'd be for stuff like that. I'm for background checks, sure. Like why not? But not on private sales. I don't think you should infringe my right to sell Taylor.
I think you're on the money here, all through and through.
My father had a lockbox.
He's thought about it a lot more.
When it was in his closet. We didn't have guns in my house growing up, but what was in there, I didn't know, and I desperately wanted to know. So I was like, "This is a locked box designed to keep me out of it." Spoiler alert: there were like vintage coins and like dollars backed by silver and shit like that. Like it wasn't any. It was cool to me, but it wasn't like intensely valuable.
Sure,
it was just a lock, like jewelry maybe, and so I knew that box existed. And then like 3.5 years later, I see a key that's like round, like that might fit it, and I'm like, oh, and you know, I wait till no one's home and I open it up, and there's like buffalo nickels and shit like that. It is hard to secure stuff from a kid like me.
Vault, you get a safe. You know, you go to fucking Bass Pro Shop, they're $750, you know, for like a 25 gun safe, and that thing's got a combo lock, digital lock on
combo safes.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to go.
And the combo is different than the other ones. You know, like my kids know the combo to the garage door, but not the gun safe. They're different combos.
You're a good gun owner. Like
I try, and
it's not birthdays.
It's not birthdays, no.
I know this. Dad's a big 1111 guy. You just twist it once and then it opens.
Yeah, I'm for all that. Nobody likes school shootings, but if we want to be serious about this and realistic about this, I'd love for those politicians to lay out exactly what the fuck they're talking about that's going to prevent these things. Don't see a tragedy and say this is my opportunity to use emotion to take gun rights away. Come with a solution to the problem that just happened. The problem that just happened is a bolt action rifle that someone had, and they assassinated a political commentator. How do you solve that one with a gun law? That could happen in Australia and Canada. It doesn't matter how strict your gun laws are. You'd have to have a zero gun policy. Like it's the most basic of rifles.